I want you guys to rank your top 5 states where it's hardest to win a state title. You don't get to think about it. Christian, go.
People love this.
I'll say no.
You don't get to think about it. Come on.
I'm not saying
Go.
California.
Gun to your head.
Pennsylvania.
Taser.
Pennsylvania.
Get the taser. Get the taser.
It's top 5.
Pennsylvania.
5. Get those
Pennsylvania,
5.
New Jersey, California, Ohio, Illinois.
Okay, JD.
The same, but swap Illinois for Iowa.
Okay, Ben.
Iowa, get the hell out of here. Get him off the show.
All right, I'm sorry.
What?
JD,
I snuck Iowa at number 5 is not absurd.
it's not crazy. It's
I mean,
wrong.
they're like, 13 or something.
13.
Whatever. Well, they have 4 divisions, don't they?
3.
3? That's still not
That's
great.
a proportionate amount.
What would you put in there? Wisconsin?
No, they only have 2.5 million people. No, I mean, well, so I go Pennsylvania, California, New Jersey.
I think I'd go California 1
Maybe.
because they only have
probably
one class.
Ohio. Yeah, they have like 900 schools in one class. It's kind of ridiculous. But, someone like Indiana, they only
That's a good call.
have one
Good call,
division.
yeah.
And so if you're saying toughest state to win a state title, well, if you're in the smallest class in Iowa,
True.
you're going to have an easier time winning that state title than you would in Indiana because in Indiana, there's only one division, for example.
Yeah.
So
I
Iowa's definitely
I
up.
didn't like the nature of this question.
Which is why I would go California number 1.
Indiana should be in there. New Jersey, California, Pennsylvania. Even though
You
Pennsylvania,
made your 5. I already clipped it.
Because, when
It's
you
on
think about
Instagram.
it, the one division thing is really hard because a lot of states that have multiple divisions, their smallest division's not as strong. It's the smaller schools, and they're just not quite as good. So winning a state title in that division would be easier, right? Therefore, winning a state title in that state could be easier.
in Virginia, the smallest class is actually the best. Which is
Bro,
crazy.
that's easy. Let's list the easiest. Virginia. They have 7 divisions. It's preposterous.
There's easier to win. Come on.
This is fun
No,
because we
there's
have
not.
people in the chat
No.
chiming in too.
Virginia's
Kansas
the
is
easiest.
pretty low because they have 3 or 4.
No, I thought they had more than that.
Well, I think they have 6, but they combine
Yeah.
the bottom 3 into 1.
Oh, not to throw any shade here, but when I was at Arizona State, I was recruiting the Western states. A lot of these states, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Idaho, they have like 4 or 5 divisions, and there's not a lot of high schools. So I don't want to get the numbers wrong here, but you guys can look it up if you want. I want to say it was like 25 to 30 schools per division, which is like in Wisconsin.
Does everybody
there's 16
qualify?
teams, they're sectional. It was, yeah. I mean, it's like you would see people. I'd get the brackets, and you'd see people with like
Losing
500
records, yeah.
Because, yeah, I want to say in Utah, maybe you're allowed to have. I think you're allowed to enter 2 athletes per weight class. Maybe. I hope I'm right on that one. I think that's how it was.
I like that.
I used to be a 1 class for your individual state champion. I used to be in that boat, but I think I've switched a little bit. I don't want to go crazy, but 2 or 3 I think is kind of appropriate. You kind of swayed me on this, Ben, whenever we talked. This was a year or 2 ago. We talked about this, but just what it means for a kid to be a state champion and for a small community, what it can mean for them is more important than having your quote unquote one true champion per weight in a state, I think.
I love it. I think it's great.
You know what they did in
7's
Wisconsin?
insane.
Then they haven't done it yet. I think it actually starts next year. But the top 5 teams, and I actually should look if this is wrestling or all sports, but I know wrestling. The top 5 teams move up a division.
That's so sweet.
So it's like going to be in 5 or 10 years, Division 1 will be the stackedest by a long shot, and the last division is going to be super weak because all of the best teams will have moved out of that division.
Well, wait. Won't eventually every team be up there?
No, because you drop down the worst couple.
Yeah, you
like
drop down the ones
relegation.
that would be the
So
bottom
it's like a
ones.
professional
I'm
league.
assuming.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
Premier League. In
Yeah, it's like the
I think that's
Premier League.
dumb.
England.
I think that's dumb.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, then it actually kind of does devalues the state title more
Yeah.
than
Smaller ones.
yeah, because it's just like, okay, you just won the bad state title. It literally is the bad state title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the worst.
The worst one. The competitive equity of it is going to be way off, to your point, because you've took all the good teams out of it.
Whereas if it's just based on size and population, it's like, well, there can still obviously be tough kids and teams.
Yeah, the other case for the smaller classes is like, or multiple classes, you got these schools where these athletes need to play sports kind of year round. You can't specialize often. Like, and you need to play football. We're not going to have a football team kind of deal. And so there's a lot of reasons I like it. Obviously, I'm biased.
Looking at like a 4-sport athlete in high school, no big deal.
I came from
varsity,
a small school, but I think it's important. All right, let's do questions for real.
What high school state championships is best in terms of atmosphere and showmanship? And this person said, and why is it Indiana? This person says it's
Wisconsin.
We're
sold out, baby. Sold out.
Yeah, we sell at
Saturday
Wells
night.
Fargo Arena.
Well, it never looks sold out.
No, you don't.
Well, by the time heavyweight
Never
rolls
looks
around.
sold out.
I don't know. Iowa's up there.
I
Indiana, I think, is definitely up there.
definitely have California bias because it is the only state championship I've ever been to. But as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong, but because it's one state champion, it's just one division, right? Is it the only one that does a spotlight for the finals?
Indiana does, I believe.
Does too.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Wait, so is California sold out, Tyler, or not?
I think it is sold out, but it's never like fully.
They bust people in. It's like a 1FC fight.
It's like considered sold out, but like it's not always like completely full. You know what I mean? But it's usually pretty full.
Yeah, it's like a 1FC where they just fill the stands with like actors. And
I wish.
Sometimes you'll find
You
Nathan
are
Fielder
being
in there
hateful,
trying to.
Christian.
you know it's true, Ben. Not for your fights. Your fights. Were
I
sold
actually
out.
don't know that that's true. I mean, the stands were always full. I don't know how they got full. I just fought in the cage, and then there was a lot of people there cheering.
That's great. That's good.
They may have busted him in. I'm not sure. I didn't watch that.
I wish every state was lucky enough to have like an eye wrestle that really specializes in theirs, and then you can go and can have your 2 or 3 individual class state champions, and then have that organization put on an event like they have with their Night of Conflict. If you want to do your one true champion type ordeal.
Yeah, I like that.
Wisconsin tried doing that for a while. I mean, this is like 20 years ago, maybe not, and it just never caught on because I think the kids who weren't quite as good didn't want to put their state title on the line because they had a good inclination that they were going to, in fact, lose. So that never ever caught on.
Yeah, I can see that.
This person also said a round of applause to Juliana Ocampo for placing 6th at the Indiana Boys State Tournament. I think I saw that she was the first girl to ever place at Indiana State Tournament.
It's pretty tough.
Tough to do.
In one state, one class state.
Impressive.